What is up, my people? Welcome back to the channel for another album review. I'm your boy Nassim the Dream. If you are new to the channel, go right on ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell as well to always keep notified on my newest content. Today, I will review the brand new Hozier album, Unreal Unearth. This is the third studio record from Irish singer, songwriter, guitarist Andrew Hozier Byrne, which is arguably one of the most crucial points in Hozier's career due to all of the evolution and growth Hozier has endured over the years throughout his career. Throwing it back to one of my favorite moments in the 2010s with his debut record, Hozier is still arguably the most famous and known record from Hozier, as it still has really big hit songs that are still played to this day, like From Eden, Work Song, and of course Take Me to Church. 5 years later, reaching the sophomore LP Wasteland Baby, which wasn't exactly the equivalent to that debut, as it really did take part of a more centered viewpoint, pop and rock music, not so much as folk this time. Though it didn't meet the hype to me, I personally did find value in this record, as it still really showcased some really great performances and highlights from Hozier. And then while getting closer and closer to the full release of Unreal Unearth, there was clearly a new approach in the thematical department that already gave promise to some of the absolute mind-blowing inclusions on this record. Like with one of the early singles, Eat Your Young, that drops with one of the most harrowing tales from Hozier based on the essay written by Jonathan Swift, Modest Proposal, that gave this idea to people in poverty in Ireland to sell their children as food for profit. I think it'd be pretty easy to tell what Jonathan's favorite meme might be. The aim from Hozier for this reflection of this specific notion was to criticize the current economic confidence that we currently see in life and we prolifically fail at fixing with poor resolve. Or even with the single Swan Upon Leading, which wasn't included in the track list for this album, but it really deems as really great lyrical candy from Hozier, as it really just to serve as a protest against women being oppressed by the government at certain times, especially when this track was dropped. It was during a protest for the overturn of Roe v. Wade. It's always been clear that there's been this poetically enamoring side of Hozier we've been familiar with this material, but it's certainly becoming more and more clear that deeper into his thought process in the future of his material has definitely improved. I feel this record really does see the best of both worlds when it really takes that power rock dynamic of Wasteland Baby and fuses it really well with the tranquilizing Irish folk essence of the self-titled that combines it into a somewhat well-balanced LP. But don't be fooled, because Hozier does still attempt to make new attempts with new song influences, such as fuses of blues rock, baroque pop, senses of new wave that are hinted on here. Whether it perfects these tones of sound is something to be determined, but I wish to bring notice on the main theme circled around this entire LP that is totally influenced from Dante Alighieri's epic poem Inferno, highly taking imagery from this 9 circles of hell that entails into this journey of finding this dead love interest. Many moments in the record referring to this point of the story to share his similarities of self-knowledge, sin, hypocrisy, etc. But the idea from Hozier wasn't necessarily to come out with a record that was pretty clear about his experiences through the pandemic, but a certain idea that told experiences in a different light. With the tension swelling up into the intro track to Selby Part 1, this makes his connection through space, time, self, and darkness, totally switching things around with Part 2 with this in-your-face power dynamic, and really does carry the momentum with this early leg, especially with the third track, Francesca, that really goes off well with delivering such a powerful, beautiful chorus with the same themes that really just go about enduring the power of love. And I really do love what Hozier does with this specific track, as in Dante's Inferno, it really refers to this woman being punished for pursuing love, but Hozier empathizes with this woman that's named Francesca and makes a total 180 and makes the goal opposite, more so encouraging her to love and congratulating her in a way. When reaching the track with the only feature on the record featuring Brandie Carlile, Damage Gets Done, this song explores the effects of the reckless youth and their effect to God's green earth, which is clearly a significant idea on its own, but I do feel like the song itself sonically does really come off oversaturated. Some of these things in these sequences really do sound nice isolated, but when they're all blended together, I just feel like it's just too much. And then while I can surely tell you there are truly gorgeous moments from this record that really remark some of the best takes from Hozier, like some of the beautiful orchestra displays on some of these songs, like with the track Icarian, really just leaves you at awe with its gentle acoustic plucks and gleaming string passages. Vocally, the most range can be observed from the track Who We Are, that have these distant hazy screams from Hozier that almost mimic a similar stellar mix of shoegaze music that also really fused off power rock and blues rock. And we get a pretty awesome last leg for this record as well, starting off with the track Abstract Psychopomp, which really does set forth yet another great performance from Hozier that is just one of the other biggest highlights from this record and probably from Hozier's career as a whole. The way that the song just sounds so organically fresh just literally feels like it just got picked out of the farmhouse. The most tear-jerking moment to me absolutely comes from the track Unknown, that has this absolutely gorgeous, compelling moment from Hozier that is just so classic to him, alone with just his voice and these clean guitars. A pre-chorus so addictive that you will always remember that "Shalala baby, you know this morning being alone." Boom! Beautifully duplicating the notion of being misunderstood in this relationship and just being lost as a whole, with greatly taking inspiration from Dante's Divine Comedy, known as the Treachery Circle. And the closer does really hit home with its rushing arcs from the harpsichord on the intro that truly embarks such a wonderful finale and complements the drive of the Irish focus instrumental choices. And I love how this ending really does perfect the joyous feeling of finally exiting this hell, just really endearing experience that it really feels at the very end how much you really change and how much you really grew from these 9 circles of hell. And with my main gripes on the record, I can't help to feel like some of the influences on here really tend to feel like they come off as filler. Some of the tracks don't really come as fulfilling to my ears. And I do respect that there is a huge focused attempt on making a lot of various song development choices, which I think for the most part hits the button, but I think with the arrangements, that's where I kind of get a little iffy, and I don't necessarily feel like that. But I truly do appreciate how much we can really explore through the imagery through this poem and its thematics. I think it's just a really daunting amount of work to put into a record like this that lengths for an hour, which it does feel its length, but it truly does feel so profound to see Hozier write something so unique that stands out to him farther thematically to other records that were written during the pandemic. It's an incredible take on experiences, grief, humanity, sin, love, and all that stuff. With such deep and thoroughly thought out poetic display that also plants eggs referring to the people that actually worked onto the record, it really does leave a mark on you to how far Hozier has come into his songwriting ability, just really taking the time to write something that feels unique to him and objectively unique to his audience. Even though not every single song hit the mark with me, I do highly appreciate the amount of work that was really put into and the amount of passion that was really displayed into the playing itself. With that said, I'm gonna give Hozier's Unreal Unearth a 71%. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching the video. If you're enjoying it, like, share, and comment down below of what you thought of this record. Do not forget to check out the description to see all my tracklist ratings for the album, more videos, and also links to my social media accounts so you can keep me on the daily, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Deuces.
You know the distance never made a difference to me.